our vision is to be a beacon of the arts in North County. And how do we accomplish that? OTC is facing a mandatory shutdown for an undetermined amount of time. The economics of this is serious. Our needs are really more severe than the typical needs of the art community. For example, Sweet Charity, our current production, which is shut down, is the largest, most expensive show produced on the Brooks stage. It has 14 actors, 4 crews, 6 musicians, a cadre of designers and technicians, large set pieces. The bottom line is we have no chance to gain ticket sales. So revenue is at a trickle, really almost non-existent. So we must do something to meet our looming financial obligations. Another item, our fundraiser, the gala, and it was scheduled for April, has been postponed. Now I'll let Ted talk about, speak to the other impacted shows and events at OTC. But the art at the Brooks Theater Space in Oceanside includes certainly live theater, music, concerts, dance recitals, film festivals, skateboard movies, visual art in our gallery lobby, a tourist summit, which is so important to the business of Oceanside, and yes, even a church service on Sunday in the studio space. So, folks, these are the stakes that are the high stakes that we have a challenge with right now. So I would ask you, as all of us on this program are asking you, to please join us. Invest in OTC so that the powerful beat, the essence of the rhythm of all our lives, art, continues and continues as its full strength at OTC and beyond just this crisis period. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Ted, our artistic director. Ted also was the director of Sweet Charity, this short-lived, wonderful play. 3 great performances, Ted, thanks to you and the actors and the crew and everybody involved. It may be short-lived, but it certainly will be remembered. Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, John. Very well said. As John mentioned, this health emergency forced us to shut down Sweet Charity after our first weekend. We, of course, were scheduled for 4, and in fact, we would be going up in about an hour, raising the curtain on weekend number 3, if it weren't for this emergency. When we closed it down, things have been going so fast. When we made the decision to suspend it, we thought there might be a chance of salvaging the final weekend, or maybe postponing it until mid-May or mid-April, and it's now looking like that's really just not a viable option. This appears that it's going to stretch on for an extended period of time, an indefinite period of time, and will impact not only Sweet Charity, but we had also begun our audition process for Good People, our next show. In fact, we had callbacks the night before I and the board met to discuss suspending the show. And it's looking like that show probably will not be able to happen. In fact, the way things are going, we don't know, of course, but there is certainly some talk that this might stretch on into late summer, which would mean we also would lose our youth theater camp, which is scheduled to open mid-June and run through mid-June to mid-July. And it also could impact our upcoming collaboration with the Tustin Area Council for Fine Arts on a production of Wizard of Oz that we just signed on with a little while ago, and we've been working with them. That's scheduled to go up on August 4th, and auditions are scheduled for May 8th. And it's certainly looking like that's in jeopardy. So there's a lot that's been impacted here, not just in the immediate, but in the future. As you can imagine, as far as Sweet Charity goes, the cast and the crew, the orchestra, the design team, everyone, they're absolutely heartbroken by this. As those of you that are familiar with theater know, the performance is the payoff for all the work that they put in. In this case, they put in 6 solid weeks of really hard work. This was a very difficult show to put up, and I'm incredibly proud of everybody for what they accomplished. But they only got to do one weekend of the 4 that were promised, in spite of putting in all that work. And so, of course, naturally, they're just devastated, as we all are. And of course, this isn't just happening to us; it is happening to other arts organizations, particularly theaters around town. But as John mentioned, this was the most ambitious and expensive project that we've embarked on, and this emergency could not have come at a worse time for us. There are some things that we want to try to do, and we have been discussing doing, to continue to bring arts to our audience during this time when people are sheltered at home. We've talked about perhaps seeing if we can get the rights to live stream, or rather stream, some recordings from past shows, or live stream potentially in a forum similar to this, staged readings or public domain works where the actors are all, as we are, safe at home, sheltered, but interacting with one another from the same script. And that's one of the things we've talked about. We might be able to do the same thing with musical performances. If there's a performer who is a solo performer, or maybe just a couple of musicians, and maybe live streaming that. So there's some things that we're looking at trying to do to keep the engagement with our audience during all of this. And of course, we can't do any of it without some support at this time. I just want to quickly say, if you want or are able to donate, and we'll be talking more about this, but right on the main page of our website, we have a donation link right there. Lastly, I just want to say that if for those of you that were not able to see Sweet Charity in the opening weekend, we're going to give you a little taste of it. We were able, fortunately, to videotape one of the performances, not the entire performance, but we got most of the musical numbers, and we're going to share a link so that you can see those at the end of this presentation. And with that, I would like to throw it back to Lori, and I believe we're going to be moving to Bridgette, I believe.
Bridgette, yes, hi.
So in that case, we'll bypass Lori and go right to Bridgette Young, our Vice President. Thank you, Bridgette.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I am just loving seeing all your faces here. Thank you for being my date tonight. I'm like it's like I'm in the OTC lobby. So this warms my heart being able to be with you guys here tonight, and thank you for joining us. So we wanted to talk a little bit more about not only Oceanside Theater Company, but everyone knows what's going on in Oceanside, being that recently Oceanside was named one of the 14 premier cultural districts in the state of California, which is very exciting. And we are at the epicenter of that cultural district. And as most of you know, we are just launching a capital campaign and highly, highly involved. So we wanted to not only talk about OTC, but being such an important piece of that district, we wanted to give you even a broader view of what's going on in that cultural district. So we invited in to talk to you the amazing CJ DiMento. And I have to tell you, I was just reading her resume bio, and she has really had an impact in all of the arts in Oceanside. So it is a delight to have her with us today. Just a couple of things on CJ. She's the library division manager for the Oceanside Public Library and is on the executive committee for the Oceanside Cultural District. Thank you for that, CJ. She's worked with the Arts Commission to develop O-Arts Master Plan for the Arts. That was the city's first cultural plan. Plus, she directs the programming, the literacy, the outreach, and arts initiatives for the library. So this is someone who has her fingerprints all over the cultural district and everything that's going on in Oceanside. And we really do feel that we are a big part of that. Our vision is to collaborate with them, and we're fulfilling it. And CJ, we are delighted to have you here tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you so much. What a wonderful introduction. We all know the arts and culture fields are vulnerable to the economic repercussions of this health crisis. And with public events canceled and revenue sources for organizations and individual artists severely threatened, they are among the most impacted sectors in the United States. The California Arts Council, North County Arts Network, and others are working on resource lists, ways to guide organizations in combating the financial and human impacts that the spread of the coronavirus is having on organizations. Locally, the Arts Commission is in conversations with our city's economic development department to determine ways to incorporate our arts assets with economic recovery efforts. When we were recently vying for the prestigious designation as one of the first cultural districts in the state of California here in Oceanside, the Oceanside Theater's company work at the historical Sunshine Brooks was one of the major assets we outlined to gain this distinction. We stressed the value that venues like the Brooks bring to a community with the highest in quality programming. Caltrans signage is due to be placed soon here in Oceanside at the I-5 exits off Mission Avenue. It's going to direct people to the district and towards the steps of the Sunshine Brooks Theater, because we know that when it's able to open its doors again, it plays an important and vital role in our community. Things are changing daily, but what remains constant is that we will all be working collectively and creatively to survive and to thrive, as we always do. We will be continuing to collaborate as arts and cultural assets here in Oceanside and throughout North County to get through this time, because artists, arts, and cultural organizations are the very personality of our community. It's very important that we come together to get our organizations through this time. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. Just a quick question. When it's really exciting to have the banners off of the freeway and in the downtown area where that, you know, you have that visual on that it is a cultural district.
Yes.
And it really is. I can't wait for it. But when is that supposed to happen again?
So there have been 10 banners that have gone up around the district. There will be more. We're collaborating with the Oceanside High School's photography classes to bring more of the students' artwork onto banners downtown. But there will be Caltrans signage on the I-5 freeway sometime in March.
That's awesome. That let's hope that happens. But yes, that's awesome. Okay, so guys, now we want to really bring in you, our patrons, our supporters. I want to ask a few questions, and we really want to make it a community forum. So if you'll bear with me, if you on your right-hand side of your screen, there should be a little chat button, a little white bubble, and if you click on that bubble, it'll open up a window where you can ask questions or give comments and feedback. So, I mean, we really want to engage you. This is why we do the art, to, you know, support our fans and theater fans. And so we just want to ask a couple questions and get your feedback. I value all of your opinion. So what we really would like to know is what are some of the other ways that Oceanside Theater can support the arts during this time. Ted talked a little bit about some things that we can do. I think it'd be great. We talked about doing some staged readings virtually, right? So one person here, one person there, but being able to do some staged readings, being able to produce some plays that are, you know, in the public domain. And then of course music series stuff. We could do cabaret type things, and then we'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think might be good ideas to support the arts and keep the not only the artists you know, being able to perform, but that sense of community. And we all love to go be entertained and have that community. And even if it's online right now, it's still a very, very valuable platform. So if you guys want to comment, you can comment in the boxes if you have any ideas. Also, you can email info@oceansidetheater.org. To that point, there are several people on the call who are just on the call and they're not on, I'm sorry, something happened here. I lost you guys, but I'm gonna get you back right now. There are many people who are on the call and can't use the chat button. And we would like to invite you guys to email in at info@oceansidetheater.org. We are actually manning that email, so we would love your feedback. What else can we do? If you have ideas, share them with us. We want your ideas. Okay, I've completely lost you guys, but I know you can be, so I'm gonna just keep going. The second question that we have is, does anybody have their hand up, or anyone want to give feedback right now? If Leanne or Lori can see them, I don't want to pass that by. Yes or no? Anybody? Anybody? All right, I'm going to go ahead and
Hi.
go on then.
Can you hear
Yes.
me, Bridgette?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
This is Cheryl. I sent you a chat message. I don't know if you can see it.
I lost it now because I lost my screen. I don't know how I did that, but I'm going to find you guys. There you are. Sorry, we're back. Okay, so Cheryl. Okay, so how about online drama classes, improv, or classes for camps? I absolutely love that idea. And I'm going to turn that over to Ted, our artistic director, if he wants to give a couple seats, but I think that's a great idea.
It is a terrific idea. The online classes for improv is probably a little easier for us to accomplish than something for the youth, but it is something we've talked about. In fact, Susan Clausen, who's been advising on some of this, mentioned that to me just the other day. We have Sharon Ducci here on the line. Maybe she could discuss or comment on the possibility of something that we could do for the youth if we can't bring them into the facility for our camp. Sharon, are you able to do that?
Sharon is our youth director, by the way. Her and her daughter Anna Ducci have taken over our youth program, and we're excited. So you guys put your heads together.
I'd have to think about it, but I'm sure there's got to be something that we could do online for the youth and do, some kind of classes. I haven't really thought about it, but can you think of anything right now? No, but we'll get back to you guys on that. That's a good idea.
It's a great idea. I know that I've seen Catalina on Facebook taking online dance classes at home, wasting no time being a triple threat. So I think that is something that we all need to do, and it keeps us together as a community as well, not isolated, right? I get lonely quickly, so this is affecting me. I'm such a social person. I'm watching people on TV going to restaurants, and I'm thinking how odd that is. So isn't that, we're in a very funny time. So, okay. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for that question. Very valid. And what we're going to do is a follow-up email, by the way, where, all of these questions and more, and any that we get online, we'll do a recap and a response. And if you are calling in only, remember info@oceansidetheater.org, and you can write comments, concerns, questions, feedback. Okay, so next, most of the theaters have had to cancel their galas. We know that it's affected many. Ours was set for April 18th, so it was coming fast and furiously. And so we'd like to know if you guys would be open to like an online auction bidding platform or some other type of online fundraiser where, again, it would include entertainment as best we could. And I'd love your comments and just yes and no's if you guys would be open to that too. And I would love, again, if I haven't addressed any thing that is on your heart or mind, or you feel is really valued or needs to be spoken about in the situation that we're in, really sky's the limit. Feel free to bring suggestions and thoughts and conversations to the table. You can always contact me personally as well, or Lori. We're all here. We're all friends. So anything that we haven't addressed, feel free to raise a hand and address it. And another thing that we would like to do is we'd like to find out if any of you would be interested in really continuing to give us feedback and guidance during this time. Every hand helps. We're in uncharted, unprecedented waters for the arts, for the economy. We need people to stick together, and every thought is important. New ideas, and we have so many legendary people on this call and as part of our advisory board and donors that have just been icons in the theater for many years, and we appreciate you and value you. And what do we do now? We're asking, what do we do now? Let's put our heads together. Yes, Ted?
I just want to point out that and welcome Casey Tibbetts, who's on our on the call today. He wrote a play that I was fortunate enough to be involved in a stage reading over at SRT, and we had planned for another production at SRT this summer. So he says yes to the online auction, etc. Can the gala be rescheduled for later in the year? We do have plans to reschedule the in-person gala for September 19 at this point, but we still are interested in seeing about a sort of interim online auction or online gala to come up in the next month or two.
That would be great. Thank you, Ted, for seeing that. It's hard for me to see the questions when I'm chatting away myself. So thank you, and thank you, Casey, and I'm so glad that you're here with us. So lastly, back to my point, we want your continued feedback and guidance. We need you, we need each other, the arts community, everybody needs each other. So we as a board and as an artistic director are here to do whatever we can. We don't want to go dark. We want to stay connected. We want to put on art. We want to feed your souls and ours by the art we put on. And so stay involved, stay on the community, email us, come up with ideas. And you know what? Let's produce them. Let's get them done to the best of our ability. That's what we want. And we appreciate all of you that that have given us guidance in these waters, just growing up as a baby theater company, and really taking it to the next level. And we would like you to now help us chart these current waters, because everybody needs each other in these times. So I think that's it. Does anybody else have any other questions? Maybe put my readers on. Maria, I have a thought. Project one of your filmed productions on the OMA facade. Did I say that wrong?
Facade.
Yes.
You're close.
Facade. We have that big facade. We have that huge white blank, beautiful
I love it.
wall, that 60-foot wall, and people could sit 10 feet apart from each other.
Great idea.
I like it.
That'd be fun.
Do we have something with that like filmed, Ted?
Anything that we have filmed, we need to at least be upfront about this. We do have to make sure that we have the rights to actually show one of our productions videotaped for any kind of audience, even if they're not paying. We need to clear those rights. And that is something we've already inquired of the rights holder for Sweet Charity about the possibility of doing a streamed version of the show. But it's certainly something I would love to do. And if not one of our productions that has rights, perhaps we could find a public domain work, a Shakespeare work, for example, or a Gilbert and Sullivan. We could put that together maybe and do something. And we could do it depending on the size of the cast, and if we could keep them with the proper spacing, we might be able to share that with an audience.
I love the idea, Maria, and I think it's something that we can continue to massage and try to make happen in one way or another. And even if we only had some people, but we were able to stream it live, just using that facade would be great. So, okay, anybody else in there? Nope, I think that's it.
Well,
I like this idea about doing online play readings, but I wonder how we gather an audience of viewers beyond the actors. I don't know. Ted, do you want to answer that?
Well, yeah, Alan, what we mean by that is it would be in the similar form to what we're doing right here. The audience would be as you are now, sitting at home or wherever, at their office or wherever, at a computer and watching. So we just need to publicize. Yeah, I'm sure. And we could just need to publicize it well in advance and be able to. The question would be, is it something that we would want to or need to monetize in order to pay for the actors' performances, for example? And that is something, it's possible to have these forums where there is a fee in order to get the access code. So that's a possibility, something we can explore. But I think there's ways to do it. I think especially if this drags on, that people have to stay at home more and more, there probably will be more and more of an appetite for that, for the desire to connect, as Bridgette said, to connect with the outside world and feel like you're interacting. And you have some sort of sense of normalcy if you can watch some actors perform, even if you're not in the same room, performing live. Right?
Thanks, Ted.
Yeah. Grab your popcorn and wine and tune into OTC live streaming, right? Okay, so again, if you're interested in continuing to give us guidance and feedback, don't be shy. Email me. Most of you have my personal cell or phone or the info, and we will plug you in. And then I would like to reintroduce Lori Butler, who again is our executive director, and hand it over to you. Thank you, Lori.
I'm unmuting myself. Thank you so much, Bridgette. I guess you can see me and I'm getting a little teary-eyed, and I want to thank everybody for being on this call because it was my idea to do this, and you've really inspired me by being on this call. I think what you've just heard is some great ideas, and we're looking towards the future. We're not going to let this stop us. We're just going to keep moving forward, and we need folks who are willing to invest in the future. And I am the fundraising director, so I'm just going to let you know what we all can do to pull together. Within the next 2 weeks to work towards that future, we have a goal of trying to raise $16,000. I am so excited to report that we have a couple in Carlsbad who've already donated $1,000, another gentleman, John Highland, who donated $1,000, and Jim and Laurie Schiller, I don't even know if our board members know this, just donated $1,600 towards our goal. And we just learned yesterday that the Union Bank Foundation will be giving us $5,000. Now that's not going to come in right away. So we need all of y'all's help. And if you think about it, there's 26 of us on the call. And if we each can help raise or go to our companies or to other people who love the arts, just $500 each, we'll be able to make our goal. So if you know anyone who can make a bridge gift, again, your company, your neighbor, somebody who loves the arts, have them call me. I'll make sure that it's a great and rewarding experience for them, and that we're moving forward with the future of arts in Oceanside. We have some fun ideas planned for that. If you can help us out, or you know anyone who can, we're going to call ourselves the first responders for the arts, and we're going to have a great celebration at some point when we're all done with this social distancing. And we're going to really thank you and for everything that you've done. So please see me. You can also go to our website and just click on the Donate Now button. And I'm going to turn it back over to Ted, because we want you all not only to help us raise these funds, but to do so while we're getting back, as John said, into the rhythm of life. So Ted, do you want to tell them about our donate button and a real fun surprise we have coming up? And before I do that, I want to shout out to Kathy Brumbacher. I'm a longtime Vista resident, and she knows my heart. Ted mentioned our program for youth in the summer. She knows my heart for kids. And this theater is not only for us adults, it's for kids. And so anything you can do to help us raise money for our future not only goes to us, but goes to the kids. So Ted, go ahead and close us out there with some great fun stuff.
Thank you, Lori. Yes, thank you all for being here. The donate button, we've added some additional donate buttons. If you just go to our homepage, oceansidetheater.org, there's a donate button in the upper right on the menu bar. And if you click on the main banner, it'll give you information on the health emergency and how you can donate. And below that banner is another section that says, please help us by donating with yet another button. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. With that,
yeah, that's the whole thing. It is ease. It's a one-click mobile ease thing. So yeah, that's the whole point.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Hopefully we'll be in contact over the next few days and weeks, and we can talk more. What we have done for you is, as I said, we were able to get some video from a performance of our opening weekend, which now unfortunately may be all we have from that production. But we want to share with you, and you're the first to get this. It's an unlisted link, but I'm about to send it to the chat window. And that link will take you to a page, an unlisted page on our website, and there are 5 musical numbers there. We'll be rolling out some more that we'll send out with our constant contact so that you can see more of the show. And again, thank you so much. If you didn't get a chance to see it, I'm so sorry that you didn't, because we were pretty proud of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Ted, again, thank you so much for all you do. I'm new to the Oceanside Theater Company, and again, you can probably see me tearing up. These are wonderful people that have come together, our board of directors, our volunteers, our actors, our patrons. I'm just in the middle of this crisis, just beaming with being able to do this evening. So Casey has typed in, if you didn't see it, that he'd like us to continue to do these video chats and keep us updated on the state of arts and culture in North County, and I think it's a good idea. So look for future times where you can invite other people, and we thought we'd end tonight, if you can see us, with a little elbow bump, since we can't shake hands or be anywhere near each other.
Everybody,
All right, you all have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank
all.
you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Click the link.
Click on that link. Great music.
Yep.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Stay safe.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.